Hello, loves. Wow, are we in it or what? We made it to March. We're doing okay. Hopefully, you're breathing and you're attending to your business, but it's a lot going on. So let me first start with praise little baby Jesus. We have made it through January and February. We are, as of tomorrow, March 2nd, we are finally out of the shadow integration phase of Venus and Mercury retrograde. So things should start getting a little bit more settled, although right in this moment, I'm recording this on the 1st. It still feels a little topsy-turvy, but it feels like we're going to, and we are starting already, like getting into more of an earthy, rooted, lower chakra, dense energy that's going to be moving through some stuff. So let me say first, the soul message is titled Clear the Path, or Clear Your Path. Very physical, mechanical energy this month. One of the main messages that came through right at the beginning of the blog is, I've been talking about the reclamation of the feminine for years, and that we're moving into that energy, stepping out of polarization, stepping out of the patriarchy. And one of the main messages that came through as I started to write was that sense that we have left out the mother, we have left out the feminine in our decision making, in the way that we run our life. And so it's not an overnight period. Like, this is a long time coming, and it's going to be a long time of integrating that back in. And what I really was hearing for this month is that is being done right now through the physical. So when I work with people in intuitive healing sessions one-on-one, I'm looking at what's in their field and seeing, okay, what are the blockages that are keeping them from occupying their whole space? Because that's what we're trying to get to, always, but specifically right now, really focusing on reclaiming those old spaces where we have shadow contracts with people in our lives, whether it's past lives, whether it's ancestral lineage. There's a lot of ancestral lineage, karma stuff that's been coming up the last couple of weeks with clients. It's like, and the message that I keep hearing over and over and over again from the other side is our ancestors that have passed are like absolutely over there holding, like anchoring in the other side of the tether of the cord, rooting for us and supporting us and wanting us to make this change. A lot of people that I work with and people that I see that are kind of like aligned with the work that I do, or hear, they resonate with what I'm talking about, are people that I call the bridge generation. We are the people who are like, the pattern that has been existing in our ancestral line stops with us. We're done with it. We are not carrying it forward. And so a huge part of the people that are drawn to my work are people who are committed to making that change. And this brings me to another part of March, is another piece of the energy that's coming through is that we are completely altering and adjusting. Our focus used to be from the outside in, and we're reorienting from the inside out. This is major, major, major alchemical work. This is not stuff that is just, done overnight at all, because for thousands of years, we have been taught to orient from the outside in. Okay, we have to adjust ourselves to fit into that room. We have to adjust ourselves to fit into that family. We have to adjust ourselves to fit into that job, to be accepted into society. All of these things, because there was this sense of feeling like our survival depended on our belonging. It's kind of like when a child is growing up with really toxic parents that have, really abusive patterns, even if it's abuse towards them, there's this sense that the child has to leave themselves and somehow parent their parent in order to calm their parent down so that the parent can then take care of them. So it's kind of like unwinding a pattern that is that big. And did you hear what I said? Like the child became the parent to tend to the parent so the parent could take care of them so that the child was safe. But look at how capable the child is in all of that. The child is capable of parenting the parent in order to get parented. So we already know how to do all this. And this is the thing that's so crazy is like we undervalue our gifts and we undermine ourselves in the gifts that we have because we're so used to people outside of us telling us that our intuitive, our magical, our gifts in the unseen are unimportant, unvalued, whatever, because that's what the world has been saying. Because the world has been telling us that success is just about climbing up the corporate ladder and how much money you make. But we all know it's not a ladder, it's a friggin' circle. And we don't get anywhere by climbing over people and climbing up the ladder and putting people down by doing that. And, you know, there's a really toxic relationship that we have to each other, and especially among women. It's so gnarly, this sense of like, you know, we've been victims of competing for scraps at the table because there never was enough space for us at the table. So it's like they got us women fighting with each other in order to make space at a table that you don't even want to be at. And so the whole thing is just ridiculous. The whole thing is unbelievably ridiculous. And the sooner that we can figure out that we have all the power in the world to heal ourselves, to heal our families, to transform the world, the sooner this old paradigm just scoots right on out of here, because it doesn't have any power to hold us down. So one of the big things, I mean, even with the energy that I'm talking with right now, the place that I'm being focused this month, that I want to orient us to, is this fire in the belly. It's rooted in, it's our solar plexus, which ironically, I've been chanting heart chakra chant for almost 40 days, and there's just a week left. And then on March 10th, I'm moving over to solar plexus. So if you want to do that with me, there's a recording of 108 times in my shop. And there's also a solar plexus blend, a chakra oil blend that goes with it to help you. But anyways, it's that guttural. It's, let me see, there was something that was coming in the blog that I want to bring through. Okay. So the energy that we're moving from and towards is kind of like a diet or exercise program. Or let's say you've let your spending go out of hand, or you've let something go out of hand, right? And we have to reorient ourselves. And it's okay, let me get this correct, because the intention is everything here. So let's say, you know, over the last 2 years, you've been wearing stretchy pants and you've gained 30 pounds, whatever it is, right? And you're like, oh, this is no good. Like, I've got to do something here about this, right? Well, the difference, the really important place, this is where the magic lives. It's not saying, okay, well, I'm bad and wrong, and I've gained this weight, and I'm carrying shame about it, so I'm going to eat lettuce and carrots for the next 30 days because that's all I think I deserve. And there's a way of like how we can diet or exercise or whatever, you know, transformation that we want to make within ourselves, right? We can orient towards it in a way that is abusive. And so if you're dieting or exercising from shame because you feel ugly or unworthy or fat or whatever the thing is, and you are orienting to that new thing, that change that you're trying to bring in, and you're like, I'm trying to bring in some self-love. I love myself. I want to do this. But if you're doing it from that orientation of shame, then you're basically just abusing yourself and hoping that you lose weight in the process. But the difference is, and this is the energy that's coming in for March that's so important. This is the energy that is like all the way from the earth, pulling it up. It's rooted, it's based in worthiness and value. And it's like this light bulb that goes on, and you realize that you're already worthy of that thing that you want, or that way that you want to live, or how you want your body, how do you want to feel in your body. And when you reorient from that place, that's like the inside out. It's like, I'm going to achieve that thing because I already know right now in this moment that I'm worthy of it. And I don't need anyone outside of me to tell me that I'm worthy of it in order for me to go get it. You see what I'm saying? It's a completely different orientation. And this is kind of like the magic, like this energy, you know, it's clear the path. It's the energy of sweeping the broom. It's the lighting of the match, you know, striking the match against the matchbook. It's that, you know, fire. It's pulling it from the belly. It's the knowing. And that's what's so great about me moving into solar plexus on accident. Didn't mean to do that. But the solar plexus is the sun of the body. It's the will. It's the determination. It's the knowing. It's the worthiness. I am worthy because I am, because I exist, because I'm breathing, because I'm here, and because I have decided that I am worthy, not because someone else told me. And so this is the energy. It's like, woo, like just even the heat with which I'm speaking, it's like, you know, and I specifically wore sweats today and my hair up because part of the energy and part of the, you know, encouragement for this month is get your hair up, get the sweats on, get the broom out and clean the damn room. Clean the room of your psyche, clean the room of your physical basement, clean the room of your attic, clean, clean, clean. Get everything out of your space that no longer resonates, especially things that people have given you that you don't like, that don't feel like they're, you know, they jive with where you are. You know, old books, like things that were heavy, you know, they're heavy and we're carrying them around and we don't realize that all of that stuff sits on our psyche, it sits on our energy field and we physically are carrying it around. Massive theme of clearing. I mean, it always is with intuitive healing sessions when I work one-on-one with people, but the last couple of weeks has been epic. Karmic ancestral lineage clearing. Like that's where we are. And so it's kind of like January and February, like we had to go all the way down in the underworld and we had to see all the darkness of it. But at the same time, like there was this lightning bolt coming down and like illuminating all of the darkness and all of the places where we have gone against ourselves or we have made, choices that were against ourselves. And now it's like, I had a teacher years and years ago, Robert Ohotto, totally look him up if you're interested in learning about astrology. But one of the things that he used to always say, he had this term called post-esteem anger. And it's when you have suffered abuse or you've suffered some transgression and you didn't have the esteem in the moment to deal with it. And it's later when you're doing healing work and you start getting esteem that you didn't have back then, that we can have this like fire in the belly, this rage, this anger about it, because we're now with esteem angry about the thing that happened to us and we have to move through that energy. And so like I've been riding the Peloton every friggin' day. I can't get enough of it. And it's like I was doing a Tabata ride the other day, which is one of the hardest rides. And I've PR'd in the day. I keep PRing on all of my classes. And I'm like, this is crazy. I've been in bed for nearly 2 months with my accident and everything. And I can't believe that I even still have the stamina or the strength. But there's so much heat. There's so much fire. There's so much desire for movement to penetrate through those lower chakras, through that dense energy. And my husband came in the room the other day and I just looked at him and I was like, nope, get out. Because it's like that energy, ladies who have had a child, you know what I'm talking about, like that fire during childbirth where like everyone in the room can fuck right off because you are working so hard at this thing that you have to focus all your attention on it and no distractions can be there. That is the energy of March. It's like, we've been through the jungle, we've been through the underworld, we've been in the cave, the gnarly, dense, and I still feel like a little bit of cave energy here, but this gnarly, dense, seeing the bottom of our psyche, seeing where we've gone against ourselves, where others have gone against us, and now we're like, okay, I have the information. Now I'm going to go do the cleanup work. Now I'm going to go commit to my own healing. I'm going to commit to my own change. I'm going to commit to the goals. And that isn't to shame yourself or, good, bad, right, wrong. Like that's going to take you right down in energy as well. But what we're doing is raising our vibration. And in order to do that, we have to shed off all of this old dense energy. Okay, I talked about the loss of relationship with the mother. I think that that's also partly why we have such a hard time with this. And honestly, so the oil for the month is transformation. I ordered it last month. I was like, oh, I feel like this is coming in. Yep, I'm just going to leave it there. See what happens. It's really, really yummy. Let me read the ingredients, and then I was going to say something about the mother that is so important. Okay, transformation is lemon, sacred frankincense, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, peppermint, cardamom, clary sage, Idaho blue spruce, palo santo, and akotea. So you've got some woods in there. You've got tree oil. Clary sage is clarifying. You've got peppermint for a buoyant heart. That's like, heart healing in there. Royal Hawaiian sandalwood, sacred frankincense is like the sacred masculine, the container that helps all the energy move. And lemon is the energy of focus. So here's what I was going to say about the mother. I was talking to one of my brand partners about this today, and I'm like, oh, this is going to come right into the soul message. So when I first started using oils about a year ago, I did doTERRA for about 6 months, and then I decided that was not the company for me, and I moved over to Young Living. For, I think, almost the entirety of those first 6 months, and I still have a struggle with it sometimes, even talking about it, because when my first order came to the house and I was introduced to these oils, it felt like a team of spirit helpers arrived at my door. This is plant medicine. Each one of these items, whether it's a blend or an individual oil, it is plant medicine. They are spirit helpers. They teach us what they have known thousands of years that we are trying to work on. When these oils first came into my house, I was verklempt. I couldn't even talk about it because it's so personal. It's so emotional. And they are adaptogens. And so they will get in and work on any level of thing that you have going on, even if you don't realize that you have it. And this is one of the things that I love about the oils and adding this to my practice, is because people who don't understand energy healing, they don't believe in it, they're not sure, like, are they worthy of healing? Is it okay? Can they look at it? All of that. Oils don't care. The plants don't care. They come in and they're going to heal the thing, and they're going to help you see the thing regardless of whether you believe in yourself or you believe in them or whatever. And it's just so amazing. And this is the level of healing that we're moving into right now. It's like I'm feeling that there are groups, or a group certainly, but maybe groups plural, of people that are starting to wake up and come online and spiritually. And they're like, I don't know if I know one thing that she's talking about. I don't know if I get anything about energy healing. I don't know if I understand channel writing. I don't know if I understand any of this stuff, but something about it is pinging me. And I'm like, there's a curiosity. And I feel like there are more and more people that are waking up and are wanting to at least learn and explore. And if you're like, I don't even know where to start, the oils are the place to start, because they are absolutely non-judgmental, unconditional love, compassionate, and they get it. They know where you are and they meet you where you are. So I think that's one of the most beautiful things. And I'm like, hey, when I was talking to her about this morning, I realized, oh, this is exactly in the March energy, because see, I'm getting heated up just talking about it. And there's so much fire here. Even though we're heavily in Pisces, which of course is water energy, but I'm feeling like a lot of this fire transformation energy. I'm actually surprised there's not cinnamon in here, but it has a lot of that heat to it. And where was I going with that? Is this loss of relationship with the mother, the way that we have been disconnected from the mother. And when I was talking to her, I realized, oh my God, that's why the oils are so transformative, because it is plant medicine. It is direct relationship with the mother, whether or not you realize that you have been disconnected from it. We all have been, because we've all been taught away from nature. We've all been taught, to sit in our little cubicles and don't take a walk and don't get outside and don't get fresh air and the whole thing. So anyways, okay, have I talked enough? Solar plexus chant. Oh, these are the suggestions for the month. Solar plexus chant, if that calls to you. The clearing your space, physically, because I'm talking like, this is like put on a good playlist and just sweat it out, like sweep, clean the cabinets. Like, you know, I've got hanging pots in my kitchen and I'm like, oh yeah, I want to get all the way up in there in the crevices of the hanging, you know, pot holder. And alone time came right at the end, because we need to deeply listen so that we can begin reorienting from the inside out. If we aren't spending alone time with ourselves every day, we cannot hear what is trying to come through for us. Okay, this is going to be interesting to shuffle because I still can't open my hand completely. So maybe I'm just going to spread this out on the table again. We'll just ask that the card that wants to come for this month is going to make itself known. The King. And what was this other one that wanted to come through? The Hunter. Okay, so we've got two. The King. I love that because it's this divine masculine energy that comes through to hold the container for this reclamation of the feminine. Because here's the thing that's really amazing about this. You know, it's not one or the other. It's not masculine is bad, feminine is good, feminine is bad, you know, whatever. What did I just say? The opposite of that. You know, feminine is good, masculine is bad. It's not that. We have both in our body and we have to learn to weave them back and forth. This is what our chakra system does. This is what our spinal column is doing. Left, right, left, right, left, right. It's a figure eight, okay? It's got to go back and forth. We need the container, the strength, the space holding of the masculine in order for the feminine to come in and do its magic. Like that's pregnancy. That's gestation. So that is necessary. And then of course we have the Hunter, which like, don't I feel like we are hunting? It almost has the energy right now too. It almost has this energy of like a horse behind a gate. It's like, oh my God, I want to go. It's like so fast. I want to get out of here. But then there's this energy of like, okay, it's not quite time. It's like little bit, step back, little bit, step back. I talked about that a while ago too. Okay, so let's go with the King first. The ruler, the commander, the emperor. If our lives are imagined as a kingdom containing the entire spectrum of human experience, the king presides over it all. Through the lens of the king, we assess the state of our land, make decisions, and rule accordingly. That is the solar plexus. That is how we rule our lives. Therefore, the king must be thoroughly and regularly vetted so as to avoid corruption. Recognize the dual nature of the king. He is either seated in benevolence and strength, guiding you toward peace, or he is oppressing the weak out of a need to control. That is the difference between the ladder and the circle. There is not much middle ground. Some think of the king as the ultimate expression of the ego, yet the great kings of mythology and history serve from an ego-less place. They take their throne with grace and humility, knowing the divine uses them as a channel to heal deep and long-standing discrepancies in the kingdom. Only if they're aware of it. I'm adding that. Only if they're aware of it. And the only way that you can be aware of the divine using you as a channel to heal deep and long-standing discrepancies is if you go into the cave of silence regularly, if you go into alone time. Otherwise you're not going to be able to hear the sound of your own voice. There's way too much distraction in the world taking you out of it. Okay, win light, benevolence, divine leadership, service, nobility. Win dark, oppression, misuse of power, corruption. To go deeper, the Dalai Lama, Indra, Richard III, and Macbeth. Once the king's relationship to divinity is broken or challenged, he often acts from a place of fear, scrambling to uphold his image and power. So when you're in that space of scrambling to uphold your image or power, notice that it's probably fear that's in the driver's seat and not your grounded sense of self. The king is necessary. He is a bridge between the eternal and the day-to-day. It is also said that it is necessary for the king to die. This is a death of the ego, right? So we have to like get ourselves off of our own thrones sometimes to see where we're going. Okay, so we've got two of the people archetypes this time. All right, where is the Hunter? Hang on, here we go. Okay, the hunter. So horse medicine. The seeker, the pursuer, the predator. The hunter hunts. They are on a precise mission with an aim. To return home empty-handed would be to fail, which is not an option in the hunter's eyes. So again, it has that masculine energy of the hunter, extreme focus. You can't hit more than one target with one arrow. This archetype will journey far and wide seeking the prize that calls to its heart or stomach. So again, it's pointing us to the fire in the belly and the solar plexus. Tales of bravery and feats of strength often result, creating a life full of adventure. The hunter is skillful, quick, decisive, and results-oriented. Like the great hunting goddess Artemis, who carries her quiver upon her back, the hunter typically has a weapon of choice. When this card appears, it is critical that you ask 3 questions. What am I hunting? Why am I hunting it? And is the weapon I hold so tightly in my grip truly needed for the task at hand? I mean, that could not be more perfect for this March energy. What am I hunting? So getting really clear on what are you even doing? Why am I doing it? So getting really clear about your why, wherever that lives. And is the weapon I hold so tightly in my grip truly needed for the task at hand? So it may be a completely outdated tool that does not work for your current circumstance, which is so often the case with our childhood wounds and all of the kind of protection that we've brought up, that we've grown ourselves up with. And now as we find ourselves in adult life in a totally different circumstance, the tools that we use to keep ourselves safe when we were young are no longer helping us. In fact, they're probably hindering us. When light, focused, energized, respectful, seasoned. When dark, irresponsible, violates, violent, poaching. To go deeper, Frida Kahlo's The Wounded Deer. Study the Greek goddess Artemis. Notice her nuanced relationship to the moon, the earth, and the feminine. The predator honors its prey with a precise and skillful hunt. The hunter deeply reveres the life it aims to take. Oh, I gotta say that again. The hunter deeply reveres the life it aims to take. So I'm gonna say it a little bit differently. We have to deeply revere ourselves and the desire, the passion, the worthiness that we hold sacred in order to reach the goal, in order to grab what it is that we want. And one of the things that I said actually in the blog was this sense of, now am I going to lose it? I'll come back to it in a second if it comes back to me. Hang on. Okay. When you activate the hunter archetype, you are aligning your energy with the great creatures of the world. The lion, the wolf, the tiger, and the shark. Do so with care. So what all of those animals have in common, the lion, the wolf, the tiger, and the shark, is fierceness, ferocity. They're predators. And so, it's like one of my greatest joys is having a kitten in the house and seeing this tiniest little predator that we love so much. And, but he has this wildness that is this need to hunt, this need to kill, this need to do that. And there's this physical energy that's here right now. It's a little bit like, we store trauma in our bodies. And the work that I do is often clearing it out of the energetic field, which helps when, the physical body maps to the energy body. So when it's in the energy body, it has to be in the physical body. So when you clear it from the energy body, then it's almost like it gives more way and opportunity for it to leave in the physical body. But there's this way that we have to kind of do the laundry. It's like that book, After the Ecstasy, the Laundry, or, the Buddhist teaching, Chop Wood, Carry Water. It's like we have to just do the physical things that help to move it out of our bodies. So have I said enough? I feel like I'm shouting. Because that's the energy that's here. It's so fierce, and it's necessary to be fierce like that. Because we're cutting old ties, we're burning them away, and we have to burn it out of ourselves. But what we're really doing is learning to come back into deep self-love and self-compassion, because when we can forgive ourselves, we can forgive everyone. When we can forgive and have compassion for ourselves and for, what we see as our deepest mistakes or our deepest inadequacies, we can support and hold that for others and invite them into the circle instead of trying to step on people to get up the ladder. Like, that is so old. That is so 1980s. Can we stop doing that? Okay, transformation. I can't stop smelling it. All right, let's talk about moon ceremony. New moon in Pisces is tomorrow, March 2nd. What is the full moon? I don't even know, and it's on my phone, so I can't look it up. But I think it's on the 17th, and I didn't look at what sign it's in yet. You can access both of them in my Instagram bio, on my website. You can sign up for subscription. I'm working on a new platform, how to build a members community so that we can have more of a tight-knit group, and I can share more of these kind of messages and channeled readings and stuff in there. So stay tuned for that. Is there any other announcements? I think that's it right now. If you're interested in oils, reach out to me in any of the ways, direct message and all those kind of things. And I will put my Young Living referral number in the text, in the comments below. All right. Love you. Have a wonderful month. Be gentle with yourselves. It's fierce, fierce energy. It's, it's like get up and clean and do something really intense and then take a big giant nap. It's the backward forward. It's kind of like the way spring moves through. It's sunny and beautiful, flowers out 1 minute, and then the next day it's snowing. That's what's been going on here. And then the very next day it's sunny again. So that's what we have going on. All right, I'm going to go burn out some of this fire myself on the Peloton. Get into it. Love yourselves deeply. Nobody else is going to do it for you, baby. You got to take it up yourselves. Oh, that was another piece of the energy that I forgot to mention in the blog, is that sense of like, no one is going to do it for you. So you have to take up the reins. Yes, we have spirit helpers. Yes, we have guides. Yes, we are never alone. And also we have to physically take up the tools ourselves with our own hands. All right. Love you all. Namaste. Have a wonderful month.